Welcome to this video about this month's new moon in Gemini. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California. Now, in this video, we're going to tell you about this moon, including what it's going to feel like, when it's happening, and the best ways to handle it.
And if you want to know more about this moon's impact in your own chart, in a little bit, I'll give you a way to find that out in a live workshop with customized interpretations. This new moon in Gemini involves a stressful T-square that includes contacts with Neptune, Ceres, and Juno. So here's the moon and the sun together. Juno is with them. Ceres squares them, and so does Neptune. So there's an opposition, and this whole configuration is called a T-square for obvious reasons. New moons are really great times for birthing the new, for starting again, new beginnings, planting seeds. And this moon in cerebral Gemini is especially good for new ideas, new concepts, taking a new line of thought. Juno brings a partnership theme to this moon, so you might come up with new ideas while in a collaborative conversation in your partnership, where the dialogue between you and your partner brings new ideas forth. Or you might find yourself communicating in new and different, perhaps better ways with a committed partner that you already have. So it might impact the communication in the relationship, or the relationship might stimulate the ideas. Any of that can happen. If you're in a partnership, whether it's personal, like a spousal relationship or a long-term relationship, or whether it's business, like a business partnership, and if communication has not been going well between you and your partner, this moon is a really good time for a fresh start, where you can try again to express yourself better or to hear the other person in a better way. And communication is really a dualistic process. It's very Gemini, because it's about lobbing your idea over the net, making sure that it lands in the other guy's court. And then when they lob it back to you, making sure that it lands in your court before you lob it back. And so it has to be a volley for it to be a real conversation. Other than that, it's just a lecture. Julia, what are your thoughts?
Well, I can't help but notice how much mutability is going on here. Gemini, Virgo, Pisces are all mutable signs, and mutability isn't known to be the most sort of stable modality out there. One of the things that comes to mind is that between the square of Ceres and the moon, as well as from Neptune, all making hard aspects, there's a part of this new moon that just makes me think like it's hard to get into your body, and it's you know, people might be just in this communication zone because Gemini has a lot to do with communication, learning. You might be way too in your own head and not embodied enough. And you can get a lot of good information in your body. You can even communicate from your body as well, nonverbal communication. But this is almost way, like, gets a little bit too heady. And that's where I think some of the stress might be coming from. And I know you've got some more things to say here, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm thinking that square to Neptune can bring challenges like confusion, mystification, maybe somebody even actually trying to confuse or fool you.
Ooh.
You know, put up a sort of a fog. You might need to cut through the fog or even puncture someone's bubble of delusion, or, like, you know, push back against somebody who's literally trying to, like, you know, project some unreality into your mind as if it's the truth. So that's a real consideration when we see a square between Neptune and all these Gemini placements. The square to Ceres could show up, and it's in Virgo right here, could show up as like a critical point of view or a perfectionistic tone in the conversation. And a better use of this energy would be to critique instead of criticize. In other words, to give helpful, supportive pointers that can sharpen the ideas into a better form, instead of cutting down the person putting forth the idea, or just dismissing the idea out of hand without really giving it any consideration. Ceres and Neptune balance each other, and they can work together. They can be a team. Balancing is good. A great use of this dynamic would be to bring the idea into the laboratory of your imagination, let's say. So take the idea that's born over here in Gemini, take it over to your imagination and see if you can imagine how it might play out in real life, you know, but just in that like playground of the imagination. That's Neptune's purview. And then Ceres could do the reality testing, you know, and implement it in the physical world, try it out, engineer it, geek it, and see whether it, you know, it does pass the reality test. So for all these reasons, I'm calling this moon New Ideas Dream Tested. Hey, Jamie here. Did you know we run live workshops monthly where you can get questions answered about your own chart? Join us for a live customized reading of your personal chart. This month's topics are success and your Saturn return, transiting nodes and your destiny, and harvesting opportunities during your Jupiter luck year. And these workshops are available exclusively for our beloved Patreon subscribers. You get the Nodes and Destiny workshop with your Tier 2 subscription, and you get all 3 workshops with your Tier 3 subscription. It's easy to sign up at the Patreon link in the description below. Now let's get back to the video. Further thoughts, Julia?
Yeah, I love what you said about Virgo and with Ceres in the sign, because Virgo in its lowest form can be nitpicky and hypercritical, but in its highest form, it's just so helpful and it's so humble about it. And, you know, and Pisces too, opposite, you know, like you were saying with Neptune in there, can be in its lowest form deceptive, you know, maybe errors and omission, you know, not being forthright about things, but in its highest form, very, very compassionate. Like both of this axis of Virgo and Pisces is really about helping other people. So if you bring that spirit into the communications, I think that you can really offset a lot of the stress that's in here. Yeah. And yeah. And what else do you have to say about this one, Jamie?
Well, it does have a lot of stress, but I think that we can come through it, and you might really be feeling it if you were born in certain birthdays. And some of these birthdays are going to span the end of one sign and the beginning of another. They'll all be in mutable signs, but they might stretch over into the cardinal signs next door. So, for example, you might be a late Gemini, early Cancer person born June 12th to June 22. You might be like a late Virgo person, early Libra person born September 14 to 24. You might be a late Sagittarius person, actually born December 13, extending over into early Capricorn as late as December 23rd. And you might be that Pisces person born somewhere between March 11th and 21st. And if you're born in any of those birthdays, chances are you're going to really feel the tension of this moon, and it might play out in your own life.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Now, in this video, we gave you a lot of clues about this moon and how you can handle it for best results. We really do love making these videos for you. And if you love them too, then please do hit that like button.
You can find out so much more about how this moon affects you specifically in our monthly transits workshop for Tier 2 patrons on Patreon. And it's a steal at just $15 a month. Find the link in the description below to get started. Enjoy your June, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.